Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here. Today we're going to be talking about, I guess this would be our third video about Iran. So Tehran regime collapses, Crown Prince takes control of the protests, streets erupt against I'm gonna definitely butcher that name, I'm not going to try it. So, we've kind of talked about this a little bit. Anybody who hasn't, I guess, watched those previous videos, more than welcome to go back, or you can just listen to this brief little. So Iran's been going through this protest movement, and it's been hitting like town and town and town. It started off in more rural towns, not really hitting the big cities, and then over the last like few weeks now, we've seen this like acceleration in this protest. So yeah, right now they are currently, I believe, in Tehran. They were in another famous city like last night too, and these protests are pretty much mainly young people. Some kind of, I mean, it's an all generations thing, but this is mainly being driven by like young people as well. There's a water crisis that we've talked about Iran right now. So yeah, they are going through just a lot right now, and they are an Islamic government. So that's going to be also an interesting thing to see, and it kind of ties in too because there's been a lot of women's protesting against that as well. So yeah, Iran's been a really interesting story. Let's get into this video. Business Basics makes great video for anybody who's kind of sick and tired of like the mainstream media, and because they're horrible and they lie and deceive people. So what I try to do is I try to at least pick stuff and get things from people who are at least like they're not trying to deceive you. Like Business Basics is a great channel. Please subscribe to them if you guys have never heard of them. If you guys just use my video to click to go to his, it's okay. He makes great content, so definitely go watch his.
The lights have gone out. As of 7 p.m. local time, the Iranian regime has pulled the plug on entire country's internet, severing.
Remember when we talked about that? So we did say that what Iran likes to do is it likes to pick random times, hey, like maybe on a Tuesday we'll turn the internet off, on a Friday, turn the internet off. Oh, this country may be protesting, turn the internet off. It's kind of how they controlled people. As Iran has been in this state of constant control for, I mean, you can probably argue since when the Shah was there, he definitely was, but it wasn't as like what it is today, partially because there wasn't the internet and stuff like that. So there'll be some things that are a little different, but Iran's always been in this constant, like, it can never be truly free. Persian culture has been trapped, has been usurped by Islamic revolution bullshit. That now it's sad that the Persian people who are just not really like, they're not Muslim, they have to say they're Muslim to get by, like those people who are probably like looking forward to this day. We may be able to actually see the freedom of the Persian culture. And I'm a Greek, and we got history, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not trying to run that back, but at the same time, like, I would love to, that was a joke, but at the same time, I would love to see potentially the rise of this culture again, because it is a great culture.
Mobile data and broadband networks.
Iran has a lot of Christian history as well, so I do want to go over there for that one day. One day I'll be there.
This is the calm before the storm, the last step before a brutal crackdown. But despite the darkness, the footage is still leaking out via Starlink, and what it shows is terrifying. From hazmat suits on the streets to schools turned into military bases, here is what is happening inside Iran right now. It's getting so bad that some government officials are begging France for refugee visas. But let's start from the beginning.
Of course.
There's a complete
internet
blackout happening right now inside Iran, and many people can expect what's coming. This is the third blackout that has ever taken place in the history of the country, and it's time to pray for the protesters. That's because evidence shows that IRGC is deploying all kinds of weapons while the protesters are fighting with rocks.
So what they're going to do is that they're going to do this massive style Tiananmen Square-esque attack. They're going to brutally go after their protesters, and that's why they want to turn the internet off so nothing gets out. And they want to make everything dark so it makes everything harder for people to even live, function, do anything, right? Keep people in this mass duress state so they're less organized and they can't think straight. Yeah, we're going to potentially, and I think we said this earlier in videos, that we're going to potentially see the fall of Iran. And I honestly think it's probably due. The only thing is there has to be a catch where if America does decide to help in this situation, which I don't know if we would, but the problem is if Israel tells us to do it, we probably would do it. So based on that assumption, we're going to go to war with Iran, and if we decide to bomb them out to give these people a chance, which guys, I think can honestly happen. I mean, we've done it once, we'll probably do it again. And if there's an opportunity here for the United States to get its long lost, beautiful lover that it's missed for so long, which was dear Iran, the United States' long lost darling has been Iran. So ever since we've lost that with the Shah, we've been a little upset. America has been a little hurt deep inside because we want her back, and we know it's hard to get her back. She's a tough cookie, and we want all that minerals, oil, and just everything about Iran. We just want it, but we can't get it for some reason. So yeah, I can definitely see the United States easily going in here and doing it.
It is expected that the regime forces will use maximum pressure, including killing dozens of protesters in an attempt to
They're gonna
crush
go after
the
them.
protest. Not only home internet, but also mobile data and broadband networks have been shut down. This blackout helps the regime isolate people from news, severe communication lines, and subject them to psychological warfare and propaganda through.
What did I say, guys? I'm not bullshitting about this, dude. This is like a total manipulation, keep people fucked up in this duress state. So they can't organize, they can't think straight, right? Because they can't communicate, right? There can't be like one person who's maybe like the calm one to lead them down and be like, guys, this is what we have to do. Keep this up in line. No, they can't do that. So Iran is literally this is like kind of their last ditch effort. Their inflation's so out of control too. I mean, like most of the world, but their inflation is so out of control that they're now pulling out all the stops to try to do anything they can.
State media. In the past, whenever internet access in Iran was blocked, the regime went on to murder hundreds of protesters. The authorities have also summoned journalists from all across the country, asking them to sign pledges to not report on ongoing protests, which many journalists have refused. But for that, they have received threats of arrest if they continue to report.
It's not a free, you can't speak freely.
Many people who have seen how regime deals with protesters in the past are now directly appealing to the security forces to basically lay down arms, to not attack the citizens of their own country.
Whoever controls the military controls the country. It's always how it's worked. It's how it worked in any country. It's how it works here in the United States, right? One day if the military just up and decided to do whatever the fuck they want, the politicians would be like, well, maybe hopefully the National Guard listens. I mean, really, like it's a crazy concept to think about. Like, yeah, whoever controls the military controls the country, right? As long as that's in line, everything's good, right? This is the Shah's son. He's been talking about the former leader of Iran that the revolution happened in. This is his son. He's been pretty much talking about becoming king again. Like, he's been trying to do pretty much polls on Twitter. He's like, come on, guys, who wants their king back? And, I don't know if people would want him, to be honest with you. I feel like Iran would want to try democracy. But at the same time, I think the United States would be considered wanting to put him back. You know what I mean? Because I believe he's been living in the United States, I'm thinking in New York.
The son of the former Shah of Iran who put out this message.
This is a direct message addressed to Iran's
Look at the flag, you notice it different?
You who wear a military uniform to defend the Iranian nation, and who are now facing a historic choice.
The Persian.
At a time when the brave and united people of Iran are building and writing history, my question to you is this. On which side of history will you stand? Alongside the criminals or alongside the people? The issue is no longer whether the Islamic Republic, this corrupt and repressive regime, will fall or not. The only issue is the timing of its collapse, and that time is closer than ever. In these decisive moments, I expect you to return to the embrace of the nation and to use your weapons not to fire on the people, but to protect them.
که برای حفاظت از آنها به کار گیرید.
As you guys know, covering protest on YouTube is a very risky task because YouTube has
Yeah, YouTube has their stuff with. I don't know. That's why I do feel safer. Like I would do my own stuff with them, and I think I will one day. I kind of want to create like a show. I mean, I feel like this is kind of like a show. That's kind of how I view this, like a talk show style thing. But at the same time, I think I may try to do like my own like setup with this. But I really do think that that was, that was a pretty good speech by the, I don't know, what do you say, the Shah 2.0? Like, he was it was a good speech there. Now I just don't know if the people of Iran would want to have that king back. But at the same time, there's something to say that maybe if he knows what he's saying, knows what he's doing, if he can just get the job done, he may be the quickest fix right now to the problem.
the habit of restricting
And then
these
you can just
videos.
have it kind of
So
like
if you
UK
can
style.
Please help us out by hitting the subscribe button down below. It would really mean a lot. Now let's get back to the message from Shah's son. He also called on Iranians to come out at exactly 8 p.m. local time on January 8th. Clearly, Ayatollah was worried about this time, and that's why the internet blackout started roughly an hour before 8 p.m.
Okay.
Before this time slot, citizens also started receiving direct intimidation messages from the regime police. The message openly threatened people with prosecution and criminal charges simply for being
They're
present in
going
a
to kill
protest-related
you.
group
That's what they
and
want. That's what they're going to
expressing
do.
opposition views. It also ordered citizens to stop taking part in public gatherings, warning that any involvement will be treated as criminal offense. This is not law enforcement. This is political intimidation. The Islamic Republic is now resorting to collective threats, digital surveillance, and fear messaging to silence the public. A regime that must threaten its own people by text messages is a regime that has lost control. And Iranian people don't want
Dude, they have no water. Of course they're going to lose control, right? Like this government's done. It's only a matter of time. And when the police officers and the military start to realize that, they'll turn.
to live in a country
And then you'll
like
see
that.
the guy flee
What
to
I'm
Russia.
about to say may surprise you, coming from the Prime Minister of Israel. But
Stay
I
at attention.
categorically state,
President of the United
Iranians
States.
are among the most gifted and successful people in the world. Of course, there's one catch. When they leave Iran. You see, in Silicon Valley, entrepreneurs of Iranian heritage are among the founders and CEOs of Uber, eBay, Dropbox, and many other outstanding companies. The Iranian people are brilliant. They're innovative. So why is Iran so poor?
Okay, so actually I will drop a little history lesson here for people. There was a time period like before the Islamic Republic and like more in like the 50s and 60s, Israel and Iran actually did have a really good working relationship. Like Israel would offer to help improve water supplies, and and Iran would do likewise with helping their construction out. Like they had a very good working relationship for a while. Like so they would like constantly have projects together, constantly do things together, have military operations together. Like so it is like a little interesting to see like at one time like everyone just simply got along and life was good, right? People lived in their area. There was plenty of Christians and plenty of Muslims and Jews. Everyone just got along, right? And like that is still possible. Like it can happen.
Why is unemployment
Depends.
so rampant? The answer
Depends
is in
on some
2 words.
circumstances with some
The
politicians.
regime. Iran's dictators plunder the country's wealth.
He's right about that.
Isn't it a shame that Iran doesn't invest in its people? Instead, they
Also
divert
right about
tens
that.
of billions of dollars to their nuclear program, to the spread of terror around the world, to their aggression throughout the Middle East. Meanwhile, the Iranian people are the ones that suffer. I look forward to the day when the Iranian people don't need to go to Silicon Valley, don't need to go there to build the most successful companies in the world. Imagine Iranian and Israeli entrepreneurs working together in Iran and in Israel for the betterment of all humanity. That's my hope. That is my vision. And that can be our future.
Now we are
Ooh,
seeing some
I just get like a Dark Plagueis vibe, bro. I don't know why, man. I just get this is like it just. You know what? He actually did bring up a few good points, though, right? I'm gonna be objective here, right? We gotta be fair to everything. And he he's right in the sense that, like, remember how I mentioned the combining with the combining how they work together. It would be great for that region if for some way Israel and Iran can just get along. Now, Israel has got its own issues when it's dealing with Gaza right now, so that's why there has to be some answers for that. But the problem is with the war continuously going on, which is interesting how that no longer is in the media. You guys notice how like that went from being the hot point, everybody was talking about it, and now we don't hear anything about Israel and Gaza. You doing like maybe a clip or a bit. So yeah, I just think that's really interesting. That's why I'm trying to create videos about this region, because I think there's a lot going on still, and now I don't hear anybody talking about it.
Still come out of Iran while the internet blackout is in effect, and it seems like that people are coming out onto the streets in enormous numbers. But before we get to those clips, I want to show you guys how the Iranian forces prepared for tonight, how they were preparing for this brutal crackdown. The regime is turning schools into a military base to crush protesters. New photos show that Iranian security forces are packing into school campuses in the city of Arak, with dozens of bikes and trucks filling the courtyard. It's the Imam Ali High School, the same one used back in 2022 when protests exploded after Masha Amini was killed in custody after being arrested by Iran's morality police for not wearing her hijab properly. Well, they are using the same tactics. They are using the school as a launch pad to shut down protest fast and hard. This is what fear of your own people looks like. In a separate clip, we are also seeing security forces appear to be using unconventional weapons to confront protesters in some cities. This video obtained by Iran International shows individuals wearing hazmat suits and masks designed for hazardous chemical material positioned on a vehicle deployed on the streets. In the video, we can also see...
We're not going to see some, like, mustard gas or some type of fucking chemical warfare shit like that, are we? I mean, because I heard Russia was kind of messing with some of that illegal warfare as well, and there was a video of like a Ukrainian like drone like killed a Russian soldier, and like his grenade thing went off, and like all this like clouded smoke came out. It wasn't like smoke gas. It was like they like knew that it was like chemical and shit. So, and since because Russia and Iran have had a working relationship, I'm wondering if there's maybe a correlation there.
Triangle sign with dark borders indicating warning of hazardous material on the vehicle. On top of all this, over the last few days, as protests have gained more momentum, we have seen security forces use shotguns to basically shoot at the protesters, and also we have seen them separate some protesters from the group and beat them up on camera.
Yep, they don't give a fuck.
Despite all this, it seems like Iranians showed up at 8 p.m. and they showed up in a big way.
Okay, so maybe they do want him back? And I'd love to see what people's thoughts on it. Do you guys think the king, the former Shah's son, should come back and be in charge of Iran, or to some degree be the head of state of Iran? I'd love to know where people sit on that. Because I genuinely don't know what's best. I can see both sides.
And we are likely getting these footage
6,
because
7.
of Starlink.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Starlink
don't hate me. Don't hate me, guys.
Country, but people have smuggled
the brain
in
rot
anywhere
got
from
me.
thousands to maybe tens of thousands of terminals. So definitely nowhere close to what the internet access was in Iran before. But there are some people with internet access because of Starlink. And these are the people sharing footage.
Goat Elon Musk for that.
This one is coming from Iran's capital, Tehran.
He loves doing that.
And here we have another
people can
footage
still use
coming
internet
out from the same area, just a different
Great for
angle,
Twitter.
as you can see from your screen. Clearly, a lot of people have taken to the streets.
Yeah, they're showing up for the king. They're right. That's good. Good stuff. You gotta turn your head on that one.
We also have banners popping up around the city reading the slogan, "Until the mullahs are buried, this homeland will not prosper." And of course, there's a new trend going around where people, more specifically Iranian women, are basically smoking the ayatollahs. Take a look. Because of this, it seems like some Iranian officials are already planning for a plan B.
We're me
The
going
French
to
Daily reports that senior
France.
Iranian officials have sought French visas for their families in recent days. High-ranking dignitary from reformist clans. This includes the president, who's not entirely in the camp of the Ayatollah.
Why the hell would France want those people in their country? Anyway, like, no. No. Why do you want them there? Like, France, you already got all this other shit. Like, your country's going to turn into a Muslim country in the next, like, probably 6 years, maybe 10 years, depending on how it goes. Like, you have a lot of people in France that are sick of it. I've met plenty of Frenchmen who are now in America because they're tired of what France has become. Like, you know, I'm an Italian and I'm a Greek and I'm talking highly of I want to see France become right again. Like, you guys got to get your shit together over there, dude. You guys are like, I've seen way too many of those tourist videos of like those vloggers who go to France and they like nothing but pickpocketers right outside of the Eiffel Tower. They got people like their streets are literally disgusting. I guess there's a thing called Paris syndrome or something like that, and it's like where people have such high expectations of what Paris is going to look like because they think of the city of love. They see all the movies and like, yeah, France. And to be fair to me, like when I always thought of Paris growing up, like, you know, I'm thought of Ratatouille. I'm thinking of like all like the love stuff because I'm like, oh yeah, France is like some beautiful town that people, you go on beautiful restaurants. You go. There's like you should probably have like a wife or a girlfriend or a partner of somewhat to go over there because it's like, yeah, and that's always what I thought of. Like it's kind of like a couple place a little bit. And then you see modern day videos of Paris, and it's like a total pigsty dump. And it's just like you don't even. I'm like looking around, and I'm like, where are the French people? Like I don't even see French people. Like at the end of the day, where yeah, like you could be like a black French person because if you were born in France, cool, whatever. But like I'm looking like I was like where are the white French people? Like genuinely, not even trying to be that guy right now, but like I've seen a lot of videos where it's like you don't even recognize France anymore because again, like I always like growing up, I always like was like yeah, like it's kind of I always thought of it like in ways a little bit like America, like yeah, like America because of like what our history was with slavery, right? Like there is Americans that are black, of course. Whatever, like just as much as they're French people that are black because of all their colonies and their territories. And I guess the Legionnaire too, or whatever their legion had like a worker stay program of some sort. So it's like you serve in the French military and then like you can get citizenship. So like yeah, like I always like assumed that there was like mixed race or whatever in France. Like that's no big deal. But I was like now when I see like from like photos from like the 80s and then I'll see like photos from like the 90s and then you'll see like modern day France or Paris specifically, you're like, "Whoa, like what the fuck happened here? Like it doesn't even make sense." I don't know. That's just and maybe if people got thoughts and comments on that, like I'd love to hear them. I don't know, I'm just curious cuz like we've just now it's like now France just wants to import more of these fucking people. Like why what are you guys doing? Like, why do you want these Iranian leaders and officials in your land anyway? This is going to cause problems. Yeah, they're mostly like the rich people, so they're just going to take the money and like run. But like no, let them fucking suffer in their country. They fucked up their own country.
But he also doesn't have
Don't
a
just
lot of
be an
power to do a
accountability
lot of
place for
changes,
them.
so he's just
You guys got
planning
enough
to
problems.
Peace out. Now, recently there was an announcement from this reformist clan in the government that I don't think we have covered, and that was the announcement about giving $7 to Iranian people to
Big
not
ups in the
protest.
world, people.
This just
$7
shows
a
that
month.
There are some people who realize that the situation is getting bad, and I'm guessing that's why they're literally trying to bribe people into not protesting.
How
But
much
clearly,
is that, like-
$7 is not enough, because if we just look at the people who are protesting for economic reasons, they're not going to be satisfied with $7 for 4 months. That's just not
for
enough
4
in a country
months?
like Iran, where situation is getting worse.
I thought it
every
was like a
single day.
month.
And this money is definitely not enough for people who want political and societal change in Iran. And this is why many Iranians are rightfully pointing out the hypocrisy in all this. In 2025 alone, the Iranian regime smuggled roughly $1 billion to Hezbollah. And now they're offering $7 per month to their own citizens. This clearly shows one of the reasons why protesters are so unhappy. The
People
Iranian
want the money
government
that
is
they're paying
focused on
taxes for
foreign
going to
issues when
them.
it cannot afford to
Period.
do so. They keep chanting death to America, death to Israel, all the while not talking about Iran at all. And that's why the protesters are now chanting neither Gaza nor Lebanon, my life for Iran. The economic data from Iran shows why protesters want someone who will focus on the country. Iranian GDP actually shrank in 2025, while the inflation was
And
at
they got
more
oil.
than 40%. The IMF predicts that it will likely stay at that level for 2026. The unemployment rate in the country is nearing 10%, while the currency is in free fall. And
I'm telling you, when young people, and America's kind of dealing with this problem with its unemployment as well, when young people feel like there's no hope and there's no opportunity, they will act out. That's how it goes in every country. Why do you think we're seeing so many Gen Z they're called Gen Z uprisings in a few countries, right? So this is an issue that we're kind of starting to notice now where it's like, yeah, like the way these systems have always been set up, it's like, at one time a lot of these countries did benefit young people. Now they don't quite as much. And especially when a lot of these, and again, this is also a class issue. It's not much as a old versus young issue. It's like, yeah, when all these rich and elitists getting these powers, they're holding on to the power, they're going to control everything. And then eventually they like may try to give a little money out to save face, but most of the time they won't. But eventually it's going to get to a point where people are going to be like, all right, you're done. Get out of here. And America's kind of at that boiling point as well. I just think America's kind of misguided in a lot of ways. Like in America, we're thinking too much as like Democrat and Republican, which it's, don't get me wrong, it's fair to call out liberals when they're being absolutely moronic, and it's fair to call out conservatives when they're being stupid as well. But at the same time, like, we have to at least somewhere meet in the middle. And I think honestly, if we can set aside like a lot of our bullshit differences, like, okay, like liberals, yes, go ahead. You guys can still care about transgender rights, gay rights, and mutilating children. Go ahead, do that. Republicans, we can do what we want to do there. And it's just like, if we can but come together on the issue, like mostly like, hey, we have a wealth inequality. We are all broke. We all need to make money. If we can find a way to meet a common ground right there as people, like, not as young versus old, not as Democrat, Republican, as Americans, if we can find a way to meet there in the middle and go, guys, look, we're all not making money. We need to be fixing that. Like, we need to either vote in a certain direction or we need to get behind someone who's saying that message, right? And that's always what I'm trying to bring up. It's just like we need people. And I'm hoping a politician eventually kind of gets behind that. Democrats have tried, but the problem is there's too much blubber in what they do. And Republicans, they're never going to touch this topic. So it's like we got to hope that maybe a young person kind of starts speaking the mind of like, we need to focus on the wealth inequality. And it's bad. That's debt, the debt in our country, which I have a theory in how they're going to fucking do it, which is moving it to crypto. We can talk about that another time. But we got the debt issue in this country that is really bad, and then we have the wealth inequality in this country that's really bad. So we have those are the number one and number two issues that we have, and our country is not dealing with it. Doesn't matter who's in office.
that's a very bad thing because
Doesn't
Iran
matter
exports
what
oil,
politician,
but
what
it
party,
imports
they're
a
never
lot
going to
of goods
care.
that
People got to
need
remember that.
in their day-to-day life. That means if the currency continues to fall, the cost of living for normal people keeps rising. Now, just to put this in perspective, with a single dollar, back in June, you could get around 800,000 Iranian rial. And now you'll be a millionaire overnight if you have a single dollar, because now a single dollar equates to 1.4 million riyals.
Oh my God.
That's likely going to be more by tomorrow. And this is exactly why 30% of Iranians
I knew it was
are living
bad,
below
but like,
the poverty
damn, that's
line,
really
with the
bad.
figure rising every single month. And of course, we cannot forget about the water crisis that triggered all this. That was a crisis that was man-made. It was created by Iran.
That whole area, it was like a really cool traditional like lake and pond or whatever that people used to actually go to and like paddle in and like swim in. That's what, yep. You can see where the water level is. Isn't that crazy?
mismanagement, and the
I don't know
government
if that can
still
ever return,
refuses
too.
to take responsibility.
Once you lose that, it's
Iran
hard to
is
get it
heavily
back.
drought because the government did not manage their water supply and
And
their
that was
rivers.
going on
But instead of changing
by
those
the Shah
policies,
as well.
they're
Like,
now
it started
blaming
then.
America
Water
and Israel for
mismanagement has been a
manipulating
thing.
the weather, and they're blaming Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and UAE for diverting clouds away from Iran. I guess this is what happens when you have a theocracy running the country and the economy. But that's all I have for you guys. Clearly, this is a big day for Iran, so we'll be having more videos come out very soon. My name is Sam, and I'll see you in the next one. One of the problems with making videos like these, where we show a lot of drone
I guess we'll
strikes,
watch
even
it,
if
yeah.
no human or Russian soldiers are getting hurt in the video, YouTube usually demonetizes or restricts our videos. In fact, in the last week, we had 4 of our videos get demonetized. According to YouTube, showing drone strikes or even footage from the front lines.
Yeah,
is not
YouTube needs to get that shit
advertiser-friendly,
in
and
line,
that's
bro.
why the videos
Come
are
on.
restricted. But this is the
Get that shit in
reality
line,
of
be a
modern
free speech
warfare,
platform.
and this is the war Ukrainians are fighting and trying to survive. So we believe it's important to cover this all, and that's why we launched our own platform, Basics Insider. We built it from scratch, so we don't have
This actually
any
may be
restrictions.
something
We
I
don't
would
have
look
to
into
blur our
getting.
drone strike. We don't have to blur frontline footage.
I genuinely
and we
watch
don't
this
have
guy's
to blur
content a lot. I have a
Russian
few
air
videos
bases
on
getting
it
destroyed.
already.
On top of this, we actually don't run any ads on the site. That way, we don't have to censor ourselves just because advertisers are not happy about what we are covering. We don't fund the
10
site
bucks.
through ads. We fund it through your support. So if you're
If you're-
someone who's
good
interested in
news- if
coverage
it's like this is a
and
news
you
channel,
want to
kinda
watch
look at
our
it like
videos
that.
uncensored and get bonus content that we just cannot upload here on YouTube, then definitely go join us at basicsinsider.com. You can also click the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen. By joining, you can watch all the
Yeah, so we know that Iran's probably going to be done here in the next few days, maybe weeks. We don't know. We don't know how long Iran's going to be keeping in power, but I just don't see them making it out of this one. The way it's going, the way the money's going, people are broke. People are going to get mad. You're going to try to. I fear that the government's going to pretty much just start killing a bunch of people, which is going to happen. I don't know necessarily that's going to work this time because people feel like that, like even if they keep them in power, that it's not going to get better either way. So maybe people are more desperate. We may see, like, I don't know, it could get really bad there. That's why I don't know how the world leaders are going to react to all this. And technically, it's not really our problem because I would rather America focus on ourselves. But the way the oil supply and everything would affect the global market, in Iran being the country it is, how it would affect just global politics in general. I can see the United States somehow taking an interest there. I don't know what we would do though, besides maybe like kind of a similar military style attack and just get the guy out of there. But it's gonna be crazy. I mean, Iran's kind of been doing this in this fighting for a while. The way it's censored its people. We know the Islamic regime is gonna. It's only a matter of time because the internet is getting people to realize that that's the biggest thing Islam is dealing with right now is the internet, right? Christianity had to deal with the printing press. Islam is now dealing with the internet because now people are able to get access to things that they never could before. Even if you censor you all you can, I'm sure there's loopholes for everything, right? So people are finding things now. The way their information is getting spread, the way Twitter is now, and I believe Twitter is available in Iran. I don't think it's banned there, but it's like that's kind of what's happening, right? No, yeah, it's not banned there because the government account of Iran was tweeting. Yeah, you can use Twitter. So it's like now people got access to information. People globally, it's like now it's like this would be now the time to see where Iran and Islam and stuff like that are going to get challenged. That's really what this is. This is an Islamic regime that has been in charge since the 1970s. So, all right, guys. Well, if you like more of these business style videos, I always love making these business basic videos. I mean, he's a great guy, great channel. Drop him a subscribe. I think because I'm on my other account. Yeah, I'm actually on my main channel this time. I was like, I'm definitely subscribed to him on my other channel. Like, I felt ashamed there. But yeah, definitely support this guy. He makes overall great content. Really good stuff. If you guys like my stuff, please like, comment, subscribe for more. I always try to be consistent, try to update when I can. So, alright guys, be safe, don't be dumb, don't do anything stupid today because today is Friday. So, have a good one.